We had a wonderful day yesterday at East Point. It was so spectacular. The scenery was out of this world. It really blew us away. Literally, that wind was coming in. Unfortunately, I couldn't do a watercolour there, but a drawing would suffice it. Unfortunately, yesterday I couldn't do any actual paintings at East Point because the wind and the rain and the sleet, it was just coming at me, and it's just impossible to paint watercolour in those conditions, much as I'd like to. So it will be a really interesting test, really, of taking the drawings back to the studio, and that's the way a lot of people paint, really. So that's a good way of trying to teach you, with a bit of luck, how to use a sketch and then transfer it into a painting. We're going to head off in a minute. You can see the weather's beginning to change yet again in Skye. Every minute it seems to change here, but that's part of living on island life on the west coast. Oh, it's really coming down now. So we're going to head towards Uist and then probably take the road across to the other side of the island to the Kerrang, this beautiful walk in the mountains. That's a lovely place. I have been there before and that was spectacular. So we'll get in the van now, out of this horrible weather, and get driving. We've arrived in Uig, and surprisingly it's raining again, so we're just going to wait inside the van at the moment and wait for it to go. So here's the ferry about to leave from Uig. It's called the Hebrides and it's going to the Hebrides. So it's a really interesting trip. I'd love to do that trip one day, and it will be a lot of fun seeing all the different sites on those islands. It's a beautiful place and some wonderful paintings and sketches to do. So we're approaching the Kerrang. I've never come from this direction, from Uig, and it really is a lovely little hill on the horizon, and we're going to go for a walk around there. It's a wonderful spot and probably one of the most popular places on Skye, mainly because it's quite accessible, really, and it's not too far away from Portree, which is the main town here. We arrived here at the Kerrang. It's a wonderful place. This view here is almost prehistoric in its nature. I really love that. We did do a walk in the summertime when it was warm. Would you believe it was warm in Skye? But it was really nice walking all the way along there. Lovely place. Looking south now, right down the island, and these rocks sticking out is quite a sight as well. And then panning around, you see the mainland over there, and that's Sutherland over there, a beautiful place and one of my favourite places to paint. Absolutely gorgeous place. So we're going to do more trips to Sutherland and do some really lovely paintings. Achmelvich is one of my favourite beaches that I like painting there. At the moment though, the weather is just too much. I've got 2 coats on and I'm still cold, and the wind is really biting from the north now, so painting is not on the ticket at the moment, but I'm looking forward to coming back when the weather is okay. But I thought I'd let you see this wonderful place and to appreciate the beauty of Skye, and it's been very impressive, and we've seen more on this trip than we've ever done, really going out to more nooks and crannies of Skye, so it's been a great trip. Here's the Old Manor store, looking really great and moody with the clouds coming behind it. A lot of the time the clouds really completely blot out the finger there, and it's so nice to see it. I wasn't expecting to see any of it today. We've been up there a few times. To the right, just to the right there, you can see another little platform, and that's where you see the best view of the rock. So here we're coming into the outskirts of Portree, and Portree is Skye's main town. Situated on the east coast. We've just left Portree, which is about 5 or 6 miles up the road. We had a lovely fish and chips on the harbour front. We drove over the hill and we were confronted with this scene here, and I couldn't believe it. It was so dramatic. The colour of the mountains, the darkness of it, it was looming over us, and we just had to stop and do a little video here. We've got the river running through, which is incredibly pretty, and it would be such a nice spot to paint if it wasn't for the freezing nature. It's absolutely freezing out here, and it's just on sunset now, which is maybe the reason why it's looking so good at the moment. But look at that for a scene. I think it's part of the Coolin range, but really lovely. I love this scene. It is one of the most amazing scenes I've seen in Scotland, and where I'm standing now with the perspective going down the road, it'd be fun to do a painting from here, but I'll soon get run over. But the mountain on the right, which is half covered by cloud, is huge, absolutely enormous. And then going around to the one over here, that's just as amazing too. Good morning, everyone. We spent the night here in a little lay-by off the road by the Schliegen Bridge. I don't know whether I'm saying that right, but it was the big bridge where we had lots of water running through it, so we're just around the corner from there. It rained all night. It just doesn't stop raining today, and I looked up on the big mountain behind the bridge and it was snow-capped, so it looks like winter's returned to Skye, so that's a bit of a shame, but a shame for watercolour, but it's still beautiful, but just wet and cloudy. We decided to have a cup of coffee with the rain crashing down on the motorhome or camper van at the moment, so we feel quite nice and snug inside here. There's a campsite just up the road there, and there are a few tents set up, and we were thinking about how awful it must be in a tent and just damp and wet and horrible. So we're having a cup of coffee, and I thought it'd be a good opportunity to thank everyone for their buy me a coffee donations. That's very kind of you. We've certainly found it very useful, the money, and this is what's paying for the trips to come up to Skye, so that's really much appreciated. Thank you for that. It's really impossible for watercolour painting, but we've got a few sketches, which is good, so hopefully I'll complete those in the studio with you watching, and so that'll be interesting to see that appear, those paintings appear. So we'll head probably down the road a bit now and to Broadford, and maybe stock up, and see you soon. We've arrived in Broadford again. We've done sort of full circle and clockwise around Skye. We've had a wonderful time, difficult weather, but coming back to Broadford again, the weather's really cleared up and it's really quite nice. Very changeable, so it changes all the time. And we've come across this scene, the harbour in Broadford, and what a beautiful spot. I'm sure you agree that is absolutely spectacular. The pier coming in and the colour of the sea and the surf, well, waves, and it's really beautiful. So we're going to have a little go at a sketch here, and to do it again in the studio when we get back home. Hopefully you can join me in that in a later video to see that happening. We've got a bit of light now, and it's fleeting, coming and going. It's one minute it's raining, next minute it's sunny like it is now, but really beautiful. So I'm going to have a go at this sketch here quickly. So I've done the box around it just to give me a little bit of leeway on it, and now I'm going to work out where everything's going to go, really. So that's the boats over here. So it's a broad everywhere sketch first to give me a bit of space and to give me a chance to get the scale right, really. So a wonderful scene. Wow. The boats are beautiful, and with the mountains again, it's land, sea, pier, sea, land. I really love that composition. One of my favourites. So there's not going to try and be too accurate with it, or not accurate, detailed with it. I need to be accurate but not detailed. So a little boat comes in here. Maybe that's a bit too big. And we've got a nice boat sort of boat yard at the end. Put that in. I'm just trying to get everything in the right position more than anything else. I'm not trying to do a detailed drawing. This is not the final result. If I was, then I'll be drawing it very differently. So there's the land behind coming in. Sea. And the surf, or the tide coming in here. Yeah. And a little spit of land coming out again. Nice little house right in the distance there. Yeah, that's it. So right there. It's quite pretty. The surf's coming, the tide's coming in that way. And then you've got this wonderful mountainscape behind, which is so unusual. One of the beautiful parts of Skye. Broadford is a very pretty place, very underrated place, I think. And then the mountains coming up in the distance. That one's cloud capped at the moment. And then distant mountains. Wonderful peaks, and there's a lovely mountain right in the distance on the left there, and the colour is like purple almost. Love that. So that's where the edge of the paint is going to be there. Now we're going to get a couple of the boats in. Boat here. So it's quite a quick process. Drawing isn't a long-winded process for me. It's quite a quick thing. I say I don't want to spend too much time on the drawing because I want to spend my time in the painting really. This extends a bit more here. Give it a bit of shadow. Sort of curves round at the end. Top of the pier. Is it a pier or a pontoon? I don't know which one it is. There's a red thing here. I love the life belt, the life ring in the distance. A little bit of red. I always love a little bit of red. One of the things that who's the famous artist, Frenchman? I can't remember his name at the moment. He always had something in red in the picture. There we go. So just trying to get where it's going to, the edges of it in. And there's a nice cloud effect here. And it's sort of billowing in the distance. Trying to get some of the clouds in. It's quite dark here. Very interesting clouds today. Billowing effect here. Another darker cloud at the top. Maybe a few more of the boats I'll put in. A little boat here. Red boat. And another boat here. And I'll move this boat across a bit. Another boat in the distance here. Love these little boats. So again, the pier, which is the central theme of this painting, coming in, and the little boats here. I'll add some people on the pier as well. Maybe a boat in the distance over there. Maybe a little yacht coming in here. Quite fun. And then the waves here. And I think, as you can see, that's quite an interesting picture. That's the mountain in the background, just to give it a little bit of darkness and shadow, just so you can see it. There we go. So just a few hundred metres from my last sketch of the little harbour, we've come this scene here. And this is the scene that I wanted to do when we first arrived in Broadford a few days ago. And I don't know whether you remember, I said there's a mountain there behind the clouds. And there it is, this fantastic mountain with this, almost like with a gouge cut out of it on the right there, which I find really attractive. And you've got the house there. Again, houses are so amazing. The White House, the water coming in. There's a little bridge here. So I'm going to have a go at this scene as well. Another little sketch of it, and try and do a painting of that in my studio. But it is a lovely scene. Again, Broadford, a place that people go through, don't really pay much attention to it, but it is so stunning. And there's so much interest in there, the sea and the sky and the mountain. Really beautiful spot. So we've left Skye now. We've crossed over the Skye Bridge into the Carl of Lookout, the first town on the mainland. We arrived here about an hour ago, but then the heavens opened, which has been sort of fitting for our trip to Skye. It's been one of those sort of trips where you come out, it rains, you retreat to the van. So we had an hour in the van there, but that just seems to be normal, part of the course for coming to Scotland at this time of year, really. But I'm sure it's not all the time it's like that. There are times where it is nice, but we've had an incredible trip. We both enjoyed it a lot. There's been a lot of difficulty as well in waiting for the weather and sort of fighting our way through the rain and the wind and the sleet and the hail. But we really enjoyed it, and we feel it was a real worthwhile trip. And I wouldn't say we've done what I really wanted to do, which was lots of watercolours. I haven't done any watercolours on this trip, purely because of the weather, really. There's been no period where there's been an hour that I could do it. It's always chopped and always changed. But that, I don't think that really matters, really. We've had an adventure, and we've got out, and we've really put our minds to doing the sketches, and that's what counts more than anything else, to get out and to see the world and to see Scotland, which is incredible. We've had some really intense moments of great exaltation and sort of, oh no, let's go home sort of moments in this trip. But overall, we feel it's been worth it. We've really enjoyed our trip up to Skye. It's time to go back now, and we won't get back to Edinburgh tonight. It's going to be another night in the camper van and then home. We've got a lot of work to do when we get home as well. I've got to do lots of paintings, and Tanya's got to do a lot of editing for the videos, so it doesn't really stop. But it's been great knowing that you've been coming with us as well on our trip. I really like that idea of the feeling that we're enjoying the trip with other people as well. So that's a really nice part of our journey here. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I very much look forward to the next ones and seeing you again in the future. Thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.